Thank you for taking some time to join us here in Vancouver, Canada. You ever been to Vancouver? You guys played here?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
We
trying to think. Like, I'm positive that I saw you guys.
we
Was that
played there with Face to Face and Teenage Bottle Rocket. Like,
where was that? Was that at like was it called Venue?
yeah, I think it was
I
actually.
think that's what it was. Yeah, I've seen you guys anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
how's the camp, man? How's dealing with COVID and like obviously we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's there. How are
Man,
you guys specifically dealing with it?
uh, I'm dealing with it better now than I was. Um, I'm like super high risk for it because like I only have one lung,
Oh
so like
wow.
I was
Wow.
like really not leaving my pad at all. Um, and I finally got vaccinated, so I'm like feeling way better now. But I hate that it's been such a clusterfuck of a vaccination
Been
rollout.
insane, right? Like,
Yeah, and I thought Canada would do a better job than the U.S. honestly. And yeah, all my friends up there are like,
dude, we have to fucking go to India to get our vaccinations. Like, what the hell? Really?
that's unreal.
It's crazy, man. As like a leading country, a G7 country,
Yeah,
we have to outsource vaccines. Like what?
it. Yeah, I was kind of fucking shocked. Like I've
Totally.
friends up there that are like really high risk too,
Yeah,
and
my
they're
wife
like,
is as well. So
yeah, and they're like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it.
yeah.
I hate it. It's really uh yeah, it's been such a mess. I think I've it's been easier for me than like my brother or other creative people because I write as well, so like I can kind of live in my own head a little bit, but like
Yeah.
with music and other collaborative stuff, it's been really hard.
So what's that like for Blacklist Royals then for writing during COVID? And of course you've got the Doomsday Girl EP coming out on April 2nd. Like what
Yeah.
was that process like in comparison to the other stuff you guys have done in the past? Like I would imagine that must have just been a send back and forth Pro Tools, like just a
Yeah, it was
clusterfuck again, right?
it was like and it would be like, there's a couple times over the quarantine that like we'd have to go in the studio individually, like we wouldn't even be in the same, like my brother might be in the control room and I'd be in the drum room and then I'd leave.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they had the drum tech guy would go in and um I mean, we made it work, but it hasn't been easy. Like we really finally just kind of, my brother and I were just finally able to start playing again the last like couple weeks, which has been great.
Yeah.
Um, um, but it definitely made me want to play music more. You know what I mean? Like just having that taken away.
Yeah.
Um,
And is it weird to release music during the pandemic? Like, was there ever talk in the group like,
yeah,
fuck guys, maybe we should hold off here and
yeah, it has been weird, and like um, we actually have a lot of stuff, other stuff recorded that we're not releasing yet. But like, it's funny this particular EP, like um, we wrote the songs for a movie soundtrack, and like
oh,
and they we had them, they weren't finished, but then like they became weirdly like very relevant with the pandemic and stuff,
right.
and we knew it was going to be a more scaled back kind of release, but at the same time, like, everything's been such a drag, and for music fans especially. So we were like, let's go ahead and release these 3 songs as an EP and just have something cool to do.
Yeah, just kind
And
of bide the time for your
yeah,
fans.
yeah,
That's cool.
and so yeah, we just for the 10 people that give a shit, we just thought we'd give them something cool that so
Nice.
maybe their week didn't suck as bad as
Uh,
every other
Yeah,
week.
yeah. So you're saying you've got something else in the can? Like, will we hear a full length
Yeah, I mean,
anytime soon? Or
we have a full length written
okay,
and a bunch of other stuff. Actually, like we wrote most of those songs for the soundtrack for my memoir that I'd released a couple years ago is getting made into a movie, and
right,
now I'm writing all the songs for that. So we have that, and then we have a whole other full length written, and we have a full length recorded for our other band, Bad Signs, and
oh wow,
all that stuff. We just and most of that we did over quarantine, and we just we're not releasing it yet. But those Blacklist songs specifically, we wanted to go ahead and get out there. Like we were supposed to, we'd been supposed to do this like 10-year anniversary show at the fest in Florida, and that got canceled. And we were really bummed about that. A lot of other people were bummed
that
about it. But
sucks, dude,
yeah, we
so
just wanted
much.
to
Yeah,
do something cool.
yeah,
And hopefully that'll happen this year, but we
yeah.
sh- we shall see.
Well, it seemed like, I mean, it seems like the lights there. So, well, tell
Yeah.
us about writing the memoir, Die Young with Me. Like, how long does that take? Is it something that, like, would you write another book?
Yeah, I've actually written my third book's coming out in July,
Oh,
so
nice.
um but the memoir was definitely that was the first thing I'd ever written, and we were still touring really heavily. Um so it probably took me like 5 years or so.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it kind of started out as it looked like a fucking suicide bomber manifesto or something. It was like 900 pages or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, getting that out was like a huge shift in my like. It was a huge fucking deal, and really kind of opened up
Hell
this
yeah.
whole other creative world for me. But it also kind of meant that we weren't doing as much Blacklist Royals because I was so busy with that. So it's been really exciting to get to start playing music again and getting back into that
Right.
because writing feels like, I mean, it's great, but it's like work, in a way that playing music isn't.
Right.
And so yeah, I definitely was so happy to get in there and bang on some drums.
Right on. Right on. With your brother, obviously your twin brother being in the band, do you feel that, like, do you guys have a leg up on other bands? Like, how long have you guys been playing fucking music together?
Yeah, since
Like
we
little
were,
kids, right?
yeah, like 13 or
Yeah.
14. Like, yeah, we do in a way. I mean, in a way, it's and definitely like probably our bandmates could attest for this. Like, it's definitely more challenging in some ways, but creatively, like we are really lucky because we're just like working on the same wavelength, and we both write the songs, and we can just go, all right, and like on this part do some shit like this, and then this, and
And
then
he just
that.
gets it. He understands,
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, totally.
Yeah, and
uh,
it's not just you guys, but like, you look at bands like the Black Crows and AC/DC and Heart
yeah,
and fucking Nickelback and Allman Brothers and like all these AC/DC, all these bands, they're and Kings of Leon,
yeah,
all these bands, it's something about these sibling bands, man.
it really it's cool, man. Like there is something it it's cool because you have collaborator in a different way. I mean, unless it's gonna like I mean, it can get fucking contentious, and
Oh,
you
I bet
know,
there's times where you just want to fucking
yeah,
strangle them, right? Like,
but like, family gets contentious no matter if you're playing
totally.
music or what. So like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man, I feel really lucky for that.
Yeah, at the best
Um,
of times. What's the music in your house, man? As a kid growing up, what are your parents playing?
Growing up, they listen to a lot of oldies. My my mom was really into like Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that. Um, like a lot of like Rod Stewart and shit like that.
Yeah.
That I love still.
I mean, that's right there. Those two guys, that's
Yeah,
comfort music, man. Like right
yeah,
there. That's just like
totally.
put it on. It's feel good tunes, to this
Yeah,
day.
that and I think like really all the oldies and stuff help is probably part of the reason I latched onto punk rock so much because it was familiar in that way, like simple, catchy,
Right.
straightforward.
So who do you credit kind of taking you guys down that path? I mean, fucking punk rock is a far
Probably my
stretch from Bruce Springsteen and Rod Stewart.
Yeah, probably our cousin Anthony, like he we grew up in West Virginia, which is like the middle of nowhere, and there was no punk rock at all. And he lived in Richmond, Virginia, which is like a pretty big punk rock city, um, like Strike Anywhere and Beretta, and there's a lot of cool bands from there. So we had went there for like a family reunion, and he was super big into punk rock, and Nat and I were just like, "Holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever heard,"
Yeah.
and that was kind of it.
Yeah. What was the first concert that you saw?
Man, the first real band I ever saw was Helmet.
Helmet.
Uh,
Okay. Brad, great band.
yeah, and it was really weird because we never got shows in our town, and they tried to put on some like outdoor venue thing in the park and booked Helmet to play, and they were so loud, and I
Aggressive and yeah.
yeah, I just remember going home and like raising my fucking cymbals like this as high as it would go. Uh,
Nice.
and
How
that
old
was
were you for that?
I was probably like 13 or
Wow.
14.
Oh, so that's a huge,
So
huge eye opener.
yeah, it was so awesome.
Yeah.
I'd never seen like a real band before.
Yeah, that's deadly. Yeah, I read something. Was it that you guys have played in like a fucking prison? Did I read that right?
We have, yeah, we played in a women's prison in Germany,
How did
and
how did that get hooked up? Like what?
it
What?
it was just crazy thing. Like we were going over on tour, and our booking agent, I think it was like, if you guys want to do a day, like whatever town it was in, I don't even remember the fucking town, but like whatever the town was, they were like, if you guys want to do a day show at the prison, you'll get paid like 5 times as much as you're getting paid at the actual show. And I was like, the women, like, not only will we do it, like we want to fucking like record it and put
And
we the
release it.
plan was to record it and release it,
Fuck
and
yeah.
it was going to be called Caged Heat, and I
Wow.
was like so fucking excited. But we had in our minds like Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison, and
Totally.
it was like not. It was like this weird, like very intimidating kind of thing, and and it sucked for my brother too because we were we had worked out on this stage banner, and we were covering like Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak and like
Oh no.
Jailhouse Rock and shit like that because we wanted to put it on the record.
Yeah.
And and like, so when it actually went down, they brought the prisoners out, and it was like really weird and intimidating, and they're kind of like catcalling us in German and shit.
No.
And I just kind of kept my eyes down the whole time, but he had to like, I was like, you still got to do the stage banter. So he's saying
Has
like,
to.
this song goes out to all you jailbirds and shit like
No.
that. And and it was actually, but then it was actually really awesome because we finished the show and we were like outside, and so they had some girls in the yard, but then it was like an old prison, like it looked like the prison from Shawshank Redemption or something.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
There's girls like hanging out of their cells, and they start throwing down like they had printed off like flyers about the show and like throwing them down to for us to sign them. And it was really like, I just go, I never in my life imagined my picture would be up in a
In a
women's
women's prison
prison
in Germany.
cell. Like, this is such a huge milestone in my life. Like, and it was all of a sudden like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, fucking did you guys
yeah.
actually
Oh,
fucking do
it,
jailbreak?
yeah, we did. And we actually went from, it was like a medley of prison
Is
songs. It was like so poorly thought out. Like,
tonight
and,
there's gonna be a
yeah, we
jailbreak.
did Jailbreak into Jailhouse Rock.
That's
And
awesome.
uh then the fucked up thing is the tape messed up and we didn't even get to use the
Ah,
recording. And it was such a bummer because it was such a great, weird experience.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I
But
was
it
like, when I
was,
read that, I'm like, fuck, I gotta ask him about that, man. That had to be like,
yeah,
that's
you
got to
know,
be up
yeah.
there for, yeah,
Nobody ever asks about that. And it was
yeah.
such a funny, and there was actually one there was one prisoner who was like saying something in that, and she had like a really bad outbreak of something all over her face, and the the guard was like, she's saying she wants to kiss you, and that's like, I don't think that's allowed. And he goes, no, it's fine, and let her out. And she comes over and like plants this huge kiss on him. And the next day he woke up and he had shit all over, breaking out on his
Oh
face.
no.
Oh my God.
Something to remember me by.
Yeah, yeah, and for the
Wow.
rest of your fucking life.
Crazy. All right, dude, let's get outside of music for a second, what you're known for. What are you binging, man, right now? Pandemic, you got tons of time. What are
What
the
am I?
shows? What are the shows you're binging?
Oh, what shows am I binging? Man, oh my God, I just watched this show called The Murders at White House Farm on HBO, and
Okay.
it's a true story.
Oh
It's like a
man.
6-part series, and it was so fucked. And
Dude, I get into those as well. I can't remember what was the name of the one, something Ramirez, the San Francisco
Richard
killer.
Ramirez,
Fucking
yeah,
dude. If you haven't seen that
horrible.
on Netflix, man, it
I haven't
is
watched it yet. I know what you're talking about.
like it's just, most serial killers like that, they'll have like a rhyme and a reason. It's like,
Yeah,
it's white girls between 18 and 30 or whatever, and it's in a taxi all the time, it's this or whatever, like there's always an MO. But this Ramirez guy was like fucking kids and women and
I
men and
know.
blacks and whites, Latinos, didn't give a fuck. Like, just the
I know.
creepiest shit.
I actually know somebody whose aunt was almost picked up by him, and he like invited her and her friend to a party, and the friend wanted to go because she thought he was cute, and she's like sensed something off about him and was like, fuck that. And then like 2 weeks later they arrested him.
Yeah, and they arrested him based on a fucking shoe print, bro.
Unreal. It's unreal. Like uh and and now I'm watching this show called Snowfall that's like really cool. It's about um which is also a true story and totally fucked up. Like the crack epidemic in the 1980s and on the West Coast in California, and how that was funded by the CIA. And
Really?
because, which is
Wow.
true, because the CIA, Reagan was doing all that shit in the Middle East, or in the South America with the Sandinistas and stuff, and like funded that by having the CIA sell these drugs, which ended up becoming crack cocaine. And like, it's such a fucked up story, but it's really interesting.
Mm. You get into the superhero stuff like the WandaVision and
Man, I like that show, Doom Patrol.
oh yeah,
That,
yeah, yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and I do love, like, I loved fucking superheroes, man. When I was a kid, and like I never got into, like, I haven't let myself get into all those Marvel universe movies and shit, like
Dude, man,
I,
that's a slippery slope, man.
that's
Once
what I
you
mean. Like I haven't even ventured down that yet.
yeah.
But
But you liked it as a kid, so like did you collect comics or was it just more you
yeah, I
fucking
loved
okay.
comics. I collected like Spider-Man
Mm.
and X-Men especially.
Yeah, same.
Um,
Interesting.
um,
But you
and
haven't let yourself go down that path. Why is that?
I don't know. I think I'm like a fucking snob, maybe. To be honest, like I think, like I dug the first two, the original, like first two Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I really did. I liked. I loved Wonder Woman. I loved, like, uh, the first Captain America movie.
Yeah. Did you see the
Loved
first Iron Man?
the Iron Man movies were fucking awesome.
Like, cause
Yeah,
that, I mean, that John Favreau, once he took a hold of that
yeah. The I
franchise,
I
it's
did.
fucking like, dude, you don't even make a movie unless it's gonna hit Iron Man. Like,
Yeah,
don't do
I
it.
thought the first, really, Iron Man 1, 2, 3 were fucking sick.
Amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
um,
So it sounds like you have
so yeah, I have,
tested the
but
waters.
I think it was like the last, when there was like one, two a year coming out with
Yeah,
like,
they're at overkill right now.
yeah, that I kind of dropped off. But yeah, there's initial ones I did like. Those were
Yeah.
great.
Interesting. Okay, so now I'm asking, as a comic book fan, then, which superpower would you want to have?
Man, I've thought about this many times. Um, and I think, I like the idea of, like, I like the idea of the adamantium. I know that's not really a superpower, but like
Like
when you really
Wolverine.
think about it, Wolverine, it's interesting because, like, he can basically add on powers because he can't fucking really get hurt. So like, I'm going, now I have the possibility of, like, upgrading my shit, and
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. I mean, and they don't really know his age
Yeah,
because of
which
his
is
healing
great.
factor, and like fuck, he could be a couple 100 years old, right?
Yeah. And what about you?
Teleportation,
That's a good one, man.
like fucking Nightcrawler, right? Like,
Dude, he
you know,
was
I could
so
be I
great.
could teleport. Obviously not right now because fucking COVID, but teleport and hang out with you rather than this Zoom shit,
I
right?
wonder, I wonder what the restrictions on teleportation
Well,
would be.
yeah, I wouldn't want it to be Nightcrawlers because Nightcrawler could only teleport where he could see.
Yeah. And when randomly now, like, the most underused Super X-Men really to me was Storm, because I'm like, couldn't she just make a fucking storm ever? Like, couldn't that end every battle?
Like
Like,
everything.
couldn't you just make a big tsunami, kill all these fucking people?
Yeah,
And they never really utilized that.
I know, right? Oh, you got a cat.
Oh yeah, it's my brother's cat, Cat James.
Aw,
I have a cat and dog running around in here.
love cats. Love cat. I got a little dog too. We should have called him Pandemic or COVID, but got him about 6 months back. He's just a cute little golden retriever
Really, that's
named Sergeant Puppers.
that dude. I got my dog like a couple months before the pandemic, and
Oh
like,
yeah,
and he's like a special needs dog, so he's such a fucking he's so much fucking work,
really?
but it it ended up kind of like keeping me sane, because like
Hell
when
yeah.
dogs pissing all over you, you can't like think about the overwhelming sense of doom. Like, like
Totally.
it really helped center me.
Yeah. Where was the last place you went on vacation?
Man, uh uh the last real vacation I took was to this it was an awesome trip. Actually, it was we went to Denver and went to drove outside of Denver to where the Stanley Hotel is, which is the hotel that The Shining is based on.
Oh, okay.
And and we stayed there, and it was fucking creepy too. And we just got like high as fuck and went around the hotel, and there was weird shit happening, like the elevator would open and shut and would
Oh wow.
go oh. And then so we did that, and it was awesome. And then we went to
Couple twins walking the hallways. Let's get the fuck out of
yeah, we
here.
were we looking like total psychos. And then we went to Red Rocks and saw Brian Adams,
Oh no way. Brian Adams. Wow.
which was awesome.
Yeah, I also play drums like you. I'm not fucking anywhere, and I'm nowhere near pro.
Yeah.
But I have an awesome Brian Adams story when I was working up at a radio station up in Prince George, northern BC. He was doing a part of his tour. I don't know if he still does it today. I don't even know if he's fucking still tours or not. But for this tour, he was like, "All right, this is the time of the tour where like we're gonna get listener the people in the crowd to come up and fucking play the instruments." And I was like, "Here we go!" Right? And my girlfriend at the time, she's nudging me. She's like, "Put your hand up." And I'm at literally at the fucking back of the venue. That's like a I don't know 12,000 seater hockey rink
Yeah.
up in PG. And so I was like, just to basically shut her up, I was like, fine. So I put my hand up and fucking boom, the spotlight, the big tall guy in the back. Look at me. So I get up and I play Summer of '69.
That's real.
Dude, it was fucking insane.
That's dude.
Like
That's
as a guy, like
real.
I'm like a weekend warrior, fucking
Yeah.
like I'll butcher a classic like nobody's business, but like to get up, the bass player remained. There was a new guitarist. Brian sang some, but there was a singer as well. Like it was like one of the coolest memories for me
That's
ever.
that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you hear about people doing that stuff, but I've never met anybody that's actually gonna get up and
and
do
more
that.
nerve wracking. But so Buddy, I walk up and Buddy hands me I think his name is Paul. He hands me the sticks. He goes, "Can you play?" I said, yeah, I'm okay. I won't, I won't fuck, I won't fuck it up. But more nerve wracking, fucking Buddy stands right here. Like, fuck, I could touch him close.
That's that that would fucking be horrifying.
It
It,
was insane.
I mean, like, to be honest, I've had a chance to do that at like tours we've been on
Yeah.
with the headliner, and
Yeah.
I've gone nah, and these are like, I mean, like 500 cap rooms. They're like big to me, but like not a fucking stadium.
Dude, 12,000, like just
Unreal.
stomp the kick. It was like,
That's
holy shit.
that
And then
must be so
afterwards,
cool.
Brian Adams came up to me and he gave me a hug and he said, "Hey man, so like one of the best performances we've ever had for drums." Because at the time I was playing a ton, man. I was playing a couple
Yeah.
2-3 hours daily, right?
Oh,
So
so you must have fucking killed.
I fucking crushed it, man.
That's dude. I mean, that's like getting called into a basketball game and making the fucking half court shot.
Totally.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like,
Like
you know,
that's
I'm like
making,
literally shaking as I'm walking back to my seat, right? Like,
that's amazing,
yeah,
dude.
it's pretty badass. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. That's that's
What's been,
fucking
I know
awesome.
this is impossible, but like what's been your career highlight? Can you nail it
Um,
down to like one thing, or is that just like, fuck, dude, not happening?
uh, man, my, I honestly like, it's hard to fucking say. Like, I know, my, my rock and roll highlight was, long story short, I tried to take my mom to a Bruce Springsteen concert, and and we stood in line for fucking hours. She had like a sign. She was so excited. Uh, and then they said the tickets I had were counterfeit. Took the tickets,
Oh.
took her sign. I got in a fight with the guy. It was a terrible experience. So then he was playing in Nashville like a year later, and I convinced her to, I was like, calm down, whatever. We ended up front. Um, and like he played a Clash song and like was looking at and like was like nodded to us because there's like some us punk rockers up front, and we were like, whoa. And then he played Thunder Road, and he threw out his harmonica, and I fucking caught it.
Nice.
And like I've never caught anything in my life. Like I was literally the one kid that didn't even make it in Little League. They wouldn't even let me play Little League. And I couldn't believe it. And I gave it to my mom. And then he played Dancing in the Dark, and he's going like, "Is that your mom?" And I was like, "Yes, it's my fucking mom." And I I don't even know how he did. He somehow floated into the crowd like fucking Magneto. Now that we're talking about
Yeah, yeah.
picked her up. Yeah, he picked her up. They danced, they slow danced for Dancing in the Dark. He kissed her on the lips
No.
and like levitated her back into the fucking crowd. And like nothing I've ever done has matched seeing my mom dance with Bruce Springsteen. She swears that he whispered his hotel room number into her ear, but she was too nervous and forgot it. I don't know if that's true, but I like to believe it is.
Dude, that's such an awesome story, man.
It was, dude. I got the harmonica fucking framed up
Fucking
right there. Like,
deadly,
it's so
man. Wow.
awesome, man.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
But
awesome.
but you're one of the only fucking people I've ever met that just topped that story. Because
Oh, I don't know about that, man. That's pretty amazing, man.
yeah, fuck my
I
mom,
wasn't
dude.
dancing with Brian
Fucking,
Adams, you know.
yeah, but yeah, but I wasn't even on stage. I'm like fucking dancing with this guy vicariously through my mom. Like
Yeah. Wow.
I would have pushed her out of the fucking way if I could have. If he would have danced with me, I would have
Totally.
told her to sit the fuck down.
Slow dancing with
Yeah,
with the boss.
yeah. I would have been all about it, man.
Awesome. Dude, I'm gonna wrap it up here and respect your time here. And
Oh, hey, yeah, thanks so much,
thank you
man.
again, man, for taking some time and jumping on. Looking forward to well, obviously I've heard the album. I got the advance or the EP.
Cool.
Um, I'm looking forward to you guys maybe coming back to Vancouver, and when that happens, let's grab a
Let's
beer
hang
and
out, man.
I'll hang out.
I would love that, dude. Drinks on me for sure.
Right on.
I
Okay,
appreciate
bud.
your time, man. Thanks.
Yeah, you guys are easy to find online, simply at Blacklist Royals, and I guess we'll see you online.
Cool, man.
Thanks, Rob. Take care, man.